How are you all doing? We are here to check out your monthly reading for March and see what is happening for you all. Can't believe we're here on the verge of hitting the spring equinox this month. Winter is coming to a close, so that is exciting energy. I kind of am already feeling that the shift happening. Things are starting, it's the days are longer, the temperatures are getting warmer, at least in the northern hemisphere. If you're in the southern hemisphere, you're probably feeling the opposite. But what do we have this month? So I'm a little late on these last couple monthlies, but as I'm recording this, today is the day of the Virgo full moon lunar eclipse. So I'm definitely, hopefully going to get this posted today. But so that's one of the big things happening in March. And then we have the spring equinox. I'm just going to take a look here, March. So we have a lot. So we had, Mars already entered Pisces yesterday. We have Venus entering Aries on the 6th. Jupiter is going to station direct on the 10th. We did just recently at the end of February, Mercury went retrograde. So that's going to be retrograde until the 20th. And then we are in Pisces season, and then the sun will enter Aries on the 20th. And then the last day of the month, we have Venus shifting out of Aries into Taurus. So lots of shifting here, but overall March energetically is a little bit more tame. There's not that many squares or oppositions this month, which is nice, especially after last month. Major astrological aspects last month. We just had the whole Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees Aries, which I've been talking about since the end of last year. That is probably the biggest thing that is going to happen this year. But there's still a lot. So the big months are kind of February, April, and then July. I really see this first half of the year, from January through the end of June, as kind of this kind of preparation. Like we're paving the new road. We are kind of collaborating, harmonizing, expanding the energies. We are putting the foundation in place. And July to the end of the year then, to me, is more of we're going to start to embody the changes. So right now the changes are being triggered. We're definitely going through a lot of purification. We're going through a lot of expansion right now. We're recalibrating. We're getting that equilibrium to these new energies. We're learning how to process the crazy amount of changes that are coming up, because this year is a faster year energetically. We just also, the end of February, moved into the year of the fire horse from a Chinese zodiac. And that is really, that fire horse energy is fast. It's strong. It's like we're moving forward. We're not, this isn't about dilly-dallying anymore. We're not dragging our feet. We're not figuring it out. Like, it's like go time. And we're seeing it already. Like, look at how much has happened the first 2 months of the year. It's pretty crazy. I think people are definitely struggling, trying to really process everything and like really try and understand, because once one thing is thrown at you and you're trying to process that, it's like something else is thrown at you. And that's obviously kind of a manipulative pattern, right? They're trying to distract, especially in the external world. They're throwing stuff at us, but then people are getting outraged which they should, and then they're throwing something else. And it's like, if you're thrown too much at once, it is a true psychological truth, is that if too much change is thrown at you at one time, it definitely creates a sort of freeze, either freeze or run. because then you just don't want to deal with it, or because you just mentally cannot process it. So definitely take the time. This is imperative right now. Don't try to do too much. Don't try to process too much. Don't try to do too much, take on too much. Give yourself some time to rest, relax. We saw that as a theme the first 2 months of the year, and that continues, because we need to really take care of ourselves right now, nurture ourselves. Otherwise, we're definitely in an energy where you're going to burn out faster. It's just these things, like, if we're not learning the lessons, they're going to start to get harder and more challenging. So one, obviously, lesson is if you're someone who just is all about do. Like, you're just a doer. You don't know how to slow down. You don't know how to rest. Because a lot of times, right, there's deeper issues. There's deeper layers there at why you have those patterns or those traits or those coping mechanisms. Most of the time it is a coping mechanism because you're trying to distract yourself from really going inside and doing the inner work. People don't want to sit with themselves. They don't want to sit with what's really going on inside of them. But those things inside of you are essentially parts of you that need you. They need your attention. They need your validation. They need to be seen and heard, and they need you to take different sorts of action for them. And a lot of people have just been running from that, distracting, pushing those things down. And think of, I guess the best way to do it is think of them as these parts are you, and someone's treating you like that. What if someone was treating you like that when you were standing there saying, I need something, or I'm feeling something, or I'm not doing okay, or I'm in a lot of pain, and someone just basically runs away from you, rejects you, shuts you up, and doesn't want to have anything to do with you. So that would feel really shitty. And essentially, it's the same process. Our relationship with a person that's outside of us is the exact same thing as our relationship with our inner self and the parts of our inner self. So, Scorpios, and you are obviously not, you are great at doing the inner deep diving. So, for some reason, you guys had to hear that, but I know that you all have the confidence and ability to do that. All right, let's get started here. Don't forget, join the Lyran Soul Tribe if you have not. Hit that subscribe. And, you know, as usual, don't forget to check out my tools, my energy tools that I have to offer. And those are on Etsy, linked below. Also, my books are linked below. Definitely, this is a time if you need some sort of more tangible to sit and read through and have some support. My books are out there. And also, if you're interested in a reading, check out my website as well. All right, Scorpio. So you have the first chakra. This is the root chakra here, and then we have expansion. This is the planet Jupiter, and I guess it's a complete synchronicity because when I was shuffling before I started the reading, that card flew out. So it definitely wanted to come out. And I'm actually going to read this first chakra card to you. Quick. So we have, this is the chakra that represents stability and security. This is Archangel Michael. So also when I pull the Archangel cards, that is an archangel to use this month to help you reach out, speak to Archangel Michael, ask him for your support or whatever you need from him. This is a place where your sense, like I said, stability and security is stored. When this card comes out, it reveals that your energy is flowing freely regarding these issues. Even if you've had problems with feeling secure in the past, these challenges are beginning to be resolved at this time. Archangel Michael is with you, bringing you strength and personal stability. You are capable of taking action and moving forward on your path. So allow yourself to feel increasing faith in your own power and security now and always. Love it. So there's a huge expansion going on this month for you, especially when it comes to your sense of security and your sense of stability. So if that's been something that has been maybe a core issue, you've had core patterns around your lack of sensing of stability and holding on to things because they provide a false sense of security, definitely I think that's shifting to where you're finding it more energetically grounded within yourself. And it's not about always looking externally for something to validate that I'm secure, whether it's the amount of money you have in your bank account, the relationship you have, the house you have, the job, whatever represents security. And those are all belief systems, right? When we assign and say money equates to security to us. And yeah, that is a core template and belief that basically almost everyone on the planet has, because we've been programmed with that. Money is obviously the way we've created this world, and how it runs is, to have a house or to have money, to have food. Most of the time we need money, right? Unless you're completely off the grid, self-sufficient, grow your own food, have your own water system, build your own house, that can happen. And I think more and more people are doing that because of the state of the world. But most of us aren't living like that. But all right, two more: caring connections and transformation. So look at this huge transformation, expansion. These are big energies this month. You are definitely going through a major transformative month. And it definitely is going to be tied to your relationships, connections here. I feel the sense of the deepening of connections are going to show up and expand. For one, they're going to expand. I'm feeling in the chest and the heart space an expansion there. But I also feel, right, that grounding, it's also going to do is help you feel more grounded through the base, which again ties to our sense of safety and security. And a lot of that is also defined by our connections. So I just feel connections is going to be a theme for you this month. There's going to be a light shown on connections, but I feel in a positive way, you're going to start to see a change in connections, or even bring in new connections that are really going to help you from a spiritual, energetic standpoint. All right, let's get to the tarot and get more details here. All right, and look at this. First card out is the Fool. So this is a month of, to me, a new path, something new, taking a risk this month, doing something differently. And I think you're just kind of jumping into it with faith, and you're surrendering, especially if you're in a situation or feeling a lack of stability or security in your life. I definitely feel like you're feeling the fear and doing things anyway this month. You're kind of breaking through any sort of belief systems or things that have kind of held you back because of fears. Page of Wands and the Chariot. So I think what you're doing, you're really jumping into things because the Page of Wands is about new ideas. You're having new ideas, you're having creative inklings coming in, you're having just these moments of this is also following your excitement and adventures. So with the Fool, it's like you're following your excitement, you're jumping in, taking a risk, or jumping into an opportunity. And maybe it's more of like an adventure, doing something fun, exciting, that's different from what you would normally do. And it's really like creating this momentum, right? And the thing about life, I've talked a little bit about it, but in every single moment, that's exactly how we're supposed to live. We're supposed to really get in tune with our bodies, our intuition, our higher selves, our guides. And how that comes through is what's exciting for us. What in this moment am I being pulled to do? I just feel this overwhelming like pull to go. Right now, I want to go to Target just randomly. Or I want to go to this location. Or I want to go on a walk. And I'm just really being pulled to do it. You should always, always listen to those things because that's your soul. That's your soul and your compass guiding you on. That's where we follow our highest path and reach our highest potential. And that's what you're really doing. You're doing it and you're starting to realize this creates the momentum and all of a sudden things start happening. Things start moving forward in a positive direction for you. Things start working out. All right. So we have the Hermit. This is definitely a month of Hermit too. That card's been coming out a lot. So this is a big, especially with your spiritual cards here. The Hermit is about spiritual, like enlightenment, gaining new spiritual wisdom. We have the Nine of Pentacles here and the Hanged Man. So at the core of your reading, this is really about who you are, who do I want to be, what do I want to experience, and what really aligns with me in this now moment. This is about true alignment, being our authentic selves and really encompassing that. And that's where all of a sudden we're living a life that we just are like, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. This feels right. And this too is about shifting our perspective. So the universe is going to start putting things in front of you to help you shift that perspective. Yeah, so the Hanged Man is that you've been stuck or feeling stuck or kind of, the Hanged Man is like, but this month I feel like you're gaining a new perspective. You're seeing things in a different way. Maybe you were seeing things in a distorted, right? The Hanged Man is viewing things very distortedly, right? He's hanging upside down. So he's looking at things upside down, which obviously distorts them. So it's almost like you've been seeing something or only viewing something a certain way or seeing one truth. But now with the Hermit and the Hanged Man, and you have all these, again, expansion, transformation, there's something that shifts. And maybe you start seeing the truth behind something. And there's something here too. I just picked up on the clock. So there's something to do with maybe you've been also hung up on timelines or like the timing of something or something hasn't happened yet. And you've been kind of hung up on that. But I think that's shifting as well. You're gaining some new perspective. Your beliefs are changing about that, and you're realizing, like, you know, as long as you're still here, there's time, and you still have time. All right, so let's get to the last row here. So we have the Knight of Wands, sorry. The Two of Swords and the Knight of Cups. Okay, so you kind of are flanked here by two knights. You have love, and then you have the Knight of passion and lust and excitement. And I kind of, how I'm seeing this is, I think you've been in this place in the past and maybe up till recent where you've kind of felt stuck, maybe in relationships or love. You also have there's a theme here around connections. But if you see here, Alice is kind of sitting on this bench, which kind of indicates references like that whole sitting on the fence. Like you've felt stuck. I use that term a lot with certain cards, but I truly feel that that's especially been the case even through the last 2025. Like people have reached a point where we've had so much shift and transformation and our energy is expanding and our awareness has been growing that like a lot of things that we were okay with or the things that like we were fine with or fit us just started to change, and it just didn't fit us anymore. It didn't align anymore. Things, relationships, friendships that we've been in for a long time. They were fine. They, maybe they weren't like your ultimate, but you were fine being there and staying there. And then especially throughout the last year up till now, a lot of people have been realizing and just hitting that point of no return of like, yeah, it's your soul tells you, right? Your soul will tell you when it's time. And I feel like you've kind of been sitting on the fence. So the decision was to not make a decision. And maybe you also felt like you had to choose one or the other. And maybe that's a pattern for you in relationships of it. It was either like very exciting, very quick, very lustful, but it wasn't solid. It wasn't something that really ended up being something that would last. Maybe it was someone that flew in and swept you off your feet, but they weren't really wanting a deep commitment. Or you had to choose love, but it didn't have the excitement and the chemistry. But I think that's what's shifting. You're shifting that belief, you're shifting that perspective, and realizing that you can have both. You can have both. And this card flew out a little earlier, and look at that, the sun. So this reading is telling you, your guides are telling you that it is possible to still, maybe you feel like you've run out of time, that, this may not happen for me or something. But the sun is telling you that happiness can encompass all that. It can encompass, again, security, stability, real deep love. And it can also be exciting. It can also be passionate. And you can find someone who wants to adventure and get out and expand, and who's in alignment with that, who's wanting to constantly focus on expansion. So yeah, there's a shift here. And I like it. I like it for you. And look at this, just flew out to death. So that's the transformation again. So I feel like who else did I say this for? Was it Cancers? But it's almost like I see you by the end of, as you roll into April, you're going to be almost like a new person in some way, because I feel like there's so much that's going to happen for you innerly, that's not a word, inside and spiritually for you this month, that you're going to be rolling out of March with a completely new way of seeing things, a new perspective. You could also be having all new connections by the end of the month that you're now being able to move forward with, that have really helped you transform. I really do feel what the kind of catalyst is going to be some sort of connection here. It could be love, but it could be anything. It's just very caring, supportive, very spiritual connections. So this could be through friends you meet, through some sort of, maybe you put yourself out there, right? Take a leap of faith, go on some retreat or a trip, or like go out and meet with some new groups of people that really takes you on a new trajectory. Let's see. I just want to see one more for the Two of Swords. King of Pentacles. So for some of you, you could have been stuck on a person for a while, been in a relationship with someone. And, this person could have at some point looked good on paper, had something of solid security in the external world that you stayed attached to. But I think that's definitely changing. Let's get one for the Knight of Wands, the Magician, and the Knight of Cups, Three of Cups. Yeah. So I do feel like there's some sort of new sense of love and connection coming in through, this could be through friends, through some sort of gathering or engagement or some sort of social or group connection here. This could also indicate by the next holiday. So for those of us in the States, or, some places like mostly Ireland, but the next actual holiday here in the US is going to be St. Patrick's Day, which is in March the 17th. Otherwise, then it's Easter. So this is really, the next 2 weeks to month type of timeline here. But also, this is just saying to me, the Three of Cups is about like socializing, getting together with people. And then you have the Knight of Wands and the Magician. So I feel like you have this power, right? This is a powerful month for Scorpios, very powerful. I feel like you are the Magician this month. So you are essentially able to pull anything out of your hat this month if you set the intention, if you focus and identify anything, any belief that's kind of contradicting what you want. And you're feeling, also the Knight of Wands is very attractive. So I feel like you are very attractive this month. I feel like you're having there's a confidence boost for you this month. And so talking about like that, identifying belief systems, and this is a tactical thing that I've kind of been learning and been doing, but you need to be highly aware of what you're thinking. So it's like catching yourself when you're saying something that's, again, aligned with a false statement. So like I said, maybe you have this belief that, oh, I can't have both, right? I can't have love and passion. You're going to catch yourself. That's going to float through your mind, that statement. And when you catch yourself doing that, right away say, that's not true. Like, almost like it's somebody else saying it. And say, no, that's not true. That's not true. I can have both. I can have both. And I intend to have both. Or I intend that I now have a relationship. It's kind of like you're contradicting. You have to say a statement that contradicts it, but also call it out as that's not true. That's a false. So whatever it is, whether it's, am I ever going to get unstuck, right? Am I ever going to get unstuck? I feel so stuck. And when you say, am I ever going to get unstuck? You're going to say, yes, you are now unstuck. And it happens instantly. Again, thinking of a contradictory statement for that. But like you have the Death and the Sun here. I mean, this is major arcana energy with the Fool. I mean, you're starting something new here. There's a new path opening up this month. And it really starts with you and more of the inner transformation. I feel like this Death card and the transformation is definitely more inner transformation that's happening. It can then prompt you, once you transform inside, it can prompt you to make decisions, right? To potentially, change something in your life, like end a relationship or, again, go on an adventure, go on your dream trip, whatever that is. All right, Scorpios, I don't want this to go too long, but I have been forgetting to do this. I've been wanting to just draw an I Ching card, and I keep forgetting to do it for everyone. You're the first sign that I've remembered. So I'm going to just pull a message for you for March, quick, just to give you a little advice or something to think about. All right, so you got the Tranquility Earth over Heaven card. Now is a time of growing potential. It is possible to grow to great heights, but keep your inner balance that has brought you here. Do not become complacent now. And I think that's that Two of Swords. That's very complacent energy of like just sitting on the fence, not doing anything, wanting to not look at things. So you're in denial. That's very complacency, right? It's like, I'm just going to be complacent. I'm not going to address anything. I don't want to see the things that my intuition is telling me. But this month to me has a lot of potential. And it can reach some major, I mean, like the sky's the limit to me. The sky's the limit this month. So, all right, Scorpios, great messages. I'm excited for you guys. You guys have a great month. Don't forget to celebrate the actual new year, the nature's new year, the universal new year, which is the spring equinox. Do something special because that is the signifier, right? That is the catalyst of going from winter to spring, from you know, hibernation, from the quiet stillness to activity, to growth, to blossoming, to the sun again coming in. So very exciting time. You guys have a great month, and I will see you in the next reading.